Ever wonder if you're a people pleaser? Here are a few signs. You might find it hard to say no to others. You're afraid to disappoint other people or to just make people not happy. You care way too much about what other people think or say about you. You take things too personally. You have a weak boundary. You tend to apologize and say sorry even if it doesn't require you to do so. And you become a doormat and allow people to walk all over you. Does this sound like you? Perhaps you hit one or three or all of the signs above. People pleasing usually comes from a tendency of wanting to go above and beyond to help others, to be there for others, to please others. And people do this because they want to belong and to be accepted and to be approved and to be loved. It is once again coming from the desire of love, like wanting to be loved by somebody else and accepted and approved by somebody else. It's also usually there is an energy of insecurity around it. And you might have actually seen your mother does it when you're a child. Maybe your mother tend to people please and you pick up this behavior. Or perhaps you're just seeking love from your mother and hence people pleasing, in this case pleasing your mother, and that just becomes a habit that you carry on and you start to become a people pleaser even when you grow up. Either way, it's just one of the common symptoms of mother's wound on how that manifested into people pleasing. So you might want to know then, like, okay, so how do I go about to let go of this behavior of people pleasing? Because you don't have to live your life that way, because at the end of the day, the worst case scenario for a people pleaser is when you come to a point where you are totally exhausted and drained physically or emotionally, and you start to build anger and resentment towards others and yourself. That is really not a place where you probably want to be at. So let's prevent that from happening and really learn how to let go of people pleasing starting today. So there are three tips that I'm going to share with you that I've used personally for myself as well as my clients, and they have worked like magic. Again, it requires you to actually put them into practice because I can't do the work for you, but you can do it for yourself. Allow yourself the grace and compassion as you go through these tips. So the first one, it is to set boundary. Get really, really clear about which area of your life that requires a strong boundary. So for example, for your work, perhaps your boundary will be something like, I am not going to pick up a call at 10 p.m. from my boss. Just because my boss calls me doesn't mean I have to pick up a phone at 10 p.m. because that is invasion of my privacy. Like I want to rest at that time and I want to stay and have a clear boundary on that. Well, of course, with the exception that if your work requires you to be on call on emergency 24 hours, that is a different scenario. But whereby your job allows you to, there's a typical 9 to 5, there is no reason for you to pick up call at 10 p.m. and you can set a boundary in that sense. And similarly, with your friends as well. Like just because she or he is your best friend, it doesn't mean you have to pick up the drunk call in the middle of the night when your best friend is crying and breaking down over her ex-boyfriend and things like that. Like this is your time to sleep. This is your time to space. You honor your boundary. Or it can be also like emotional boundary, like not letting people just dump their emotions on you and keep on talking and talking and talking without checking whether you have the time to listen or whether you have time or energy to be there for them. So taking care physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically your boundaries in all areas of your life. Allow yourself to like really look through every single area and start with one area at a time and set a clear boundary and practice this. So just pick one. So for example, if your one boundary that you want to pick is to, I'm no longer gonna pick up call in the middle of the night, no matter who calls me, unless it's super emergency like life or death, then I'm not gonna pick it up. So that will be boundary that you set, and you are the only person that can hold the boundary and own it and practice it. So give yourself the permission to actually set that boundary. That's the first tips. And the second one is to really practice saying no. Remember, when you are saying no to other people, you are saying yes to yourself. Especially like if you actually do not want to do something, but if you are afraid to say no and you say yes to other people, despite you not wanting to do it, then essentially you're saying no to yourself. You're forcing yourself to do something you don't want, and hence saying no to your own desire while you are saying yes to other people's desire. Let's switch that around. Let's say yes to your own desire and say no to others when it is necessary. So when there is a situation that presents yourself that you find it that you really don't want to do it, and that it is a clear no in every single cell of your body, then say no. That way you're honoring and allowing yourself to put yourself first as well. So practice. This is going to feel kind of awkward at the beginning, especially if you're so used to not being able to say no. So just practice. There's the only way really is just to practice. So the next time, maybe when your colleague tries to ask you to do her job when that is not even your job, just say no. Like, no, I can't do this. Like just be as direct or indirect that you need to, depending on your style of communication, but make it clear when a no is a no. Really, really try to start saying no. All right. So that's the second one. And the third one is a flower bath ritual. That's the practice, but the third tips is to put yourself first. Please yourself. If you have been spending your life people pleasing, now it's time to please yourself. Please yourself. Please yourself. How does that sound? So you're gonna please yourself by doing a practice called flower bath ritual, and this works whether you have a bathtub or not. So you're going to pick a flower that you desire. It can be fresh, it can be dried flower. I personally love using rose because it represents divine love. It has this unconditional love and softness and gentleness that rose represents for me. It might be something else for you that has a significant meaning for you. So just pick up a flower that truly resonates with your heart. Just make sure that you're not allergic to that flower since you're going to use it for shower, right? So pick one type of flower or 3 flowers if you desire. That's first step. Choose your flower. Second step is to prepare your bucket of water or your bathtub. So fill up your water and then put the flowers in the water. And as you put the flowers in the water, I want you to consciously and intentionally just say, I love you. So with each scoop of flour you take and you place it down to the water by saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. So the 4 words is I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. It's the whole Ho'oponopono prayer that really helps with self-forgiveness. And repeat this for as long as you feel like. So just put the flower into the water while chanting out loud or saying it in your heart, and just keep on praying over the flower and water. And then you can leave the water there for as long as you desire before you take the bath. So I like to kind of leave it there for half a day or depending on my schedule. And when I'm ready to take a bath, then I will actually go on and take the bath. So The first step is to choose the flower, right? And the second step is to put the flower in the water by chanting, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And then you leave it on there for as long as you want, or you can take the shower immediately if you need to. And the third one is to take the flower ritual, like take the bath. So you can go on the bathtub or like just scoop the water out of your bucket and like just wash it over you, even if it is just your face. It doesn't have to be like a full on shower. It's just a symbolic thing, an energetic and representation thing. So just even if it's just a little bit of the water goes to your face, that counts. Yeah, so just like allow yourself to soak in this flower bath water, and as this water washes all over you, it essentially is helping you to clear and washes away all that no longer serve you, and it helps you to connect with the energy of the water, which represents the yin and the feminine energy, which is why we want to use the water. So you just let the water do the job, let the water wash it all the way, and let yourself receive the benefits and the healing from the flower. So it's like the water is cleansing it all the way, and the flower is filling you up and nourishing you with all its magic and its medicine and its benefits. Allow yourself to be receiving, receiving, and receiving, and have fun with it. So just a quick summary of today. So like the three tips to stop people pleasing is to first set a boundary, second to say no to others, and the third one is to please yourself first, specifically by doing the flower bath ritual. At any point of the time, every time you feel like doing the flower bath ritual and if you forget the steps, you can always come back to this lesson to review the steps again as and when you need it. What I would love to hear is what flower you pick. Let us know once you have done the flower ritual and share your flower, or maybe share how you do it a little bit differently with your own tweak. Maybe you put a little bit of essential oil or you light up the candle. Share your experience with people in the classroom so that they get inspired on how they can potentially create and tweak their own ritual as well. It is kind of like your space where you get to share your creativity, your inspiration, and your practice to help to uplift and inspire one another. But of course, you can also pop in there just to ask questions or to ask for the support that you desire. With that, I'm so grateful and thankful to have you for this lesson, and I'm gonna see you very soon for the next lesson.